the statements of the host about the question of parliament. We have I've had the submissions about the question of the IBC, the public debt, and all those. I will tackle each at a time. I would begin perhaps by tackling the question of the IBC and where we are at the moment. And what are we waiting for? Constitutionally, at the lapse of 14 days, whether William Ruto decides to sign to assent to the bill or not, the bill will become effective and will become law. But upon becoming law, how then do we move on, and how is a bill proposing to constitute the IBC? And that is where we should be focused at or on. I submit that when you look at the bill, they change the criteria of constituting the IBC, and they propose that the constitution of the panel that will select the commissioners. They said, one, the political parties will have serious role in participating in the manner in which the commissioners will be selected. For example, the political party liaison committee, which is a liaison committee that is constituted of all the registered political parties in this country. Notwithstanding whether those political parties have complied with the Political Parties Act or not, they were granted an opportunity to appoint 3 representatives who will sit in the panel to select the commissioners. Kenya Kwanza was equally given 2 slots to select the commissioners. Azimio was equally given 2 slots. 1 slot, I think, is going to the public, members of the public. But the question is, this is a very important panel that will reconstitute the IBC. We are in this mess because the IBC decided to ramble down our elections. The IBC decided to take the direction they took. So are we waiting and are we watching the country taking the same route of constituting an IBC that perhaps may not have the integrity that is required to oversee a secure, a fair, a free and fair election? I am calling upon you, brothers and sisters, that we focus on this particular panel. The panel is the one that is mandated to appoint the IBC commissioners. Who will sit in those particular panels? Who will sit there? Because the person who sits determines how the election will be conducted in the future. Equally, it will also determine whether or not the commissioners that shall be constituted will be people of integrity, people who meet chapter 6 of the Constitution. That is to mean, even if we were to say that we are now beginning to recall our members of parliament, again the IBC, which is the commissioners, will play a major role. So I am calling upon you to be on watch and on the outlook as to which individuals will sit in those particular, in that particular panel for selecting the IBC. Number 2, on the question of parliament. Yes, it is true, parliament has failed this country. It is true, parliament is an extension of the executive. It is true that parliament is a moribund. In fact, Baba keeps on saying ni hanithi. But the question is, strategically, what should we focus on first? Should we focus on the ineptness of parliament, or should we focus on making sure that William Ruto goes? And then if we are therefore to look at those 2 dynamics, if we are to say that William Ruto must go, 1, by way of resignation, if you look at Article 146, which calls or which speak about the resignation of parliament, it is constitutionally incumbent that a resignation of a president cannot be tendered in the absence of parliament, because the Constitution says that it is the Speaker of the National Assembly who shall receive that resignation in the event it arises. I do not see in my own thinking William Ruto ever tendering his resignation. Ako na kichwa ngumu sana, huyo mtu hawezi resign. So the question of resignation is almost a tall order for us to keep on putting on it. But the other question is, do we have other constitutional tools that are available in the Constitution that we can roll into motion to make sure that William Ruto does not get to 2027? Because that is our issue. I submit that yes, we have a constitutional tool that the people can use, and it is a tool of impeachment. If then we have to say we shall apply the tool of impeachment to take William Ruto home, or who shall participate in this process of impeachment? Again, it is Parliament. Parliament plays the major role. It becomes the playing ground where this impeachment will be manifested. So we realize that if we focus on Parliament and we focus on William Ruto, then we shall be losing the battleground in those two fronts. In my view, Parliament as it is currently can be redeemed. And it can be redeemed from William Ruto by applying a lot of pressure on them to make sure that they were elected for purposes of representation of the people and not to represent William Ruto. I have seen a lot of I've seen a lot of serious paradigm shifts from the members of Parliament, from how they behaved when the bill was in Parliament, how they behaved when they passed the bill, and how they have now behaved when William Ruto declined to assent to the bill. They are actually apologetic. I have also seen a paradigm shift because ya story ya kusalimiwa kila wakati. So it looks like if Parliament is pushed to a corner, it looks like they can take they can take a turn and start supporting the people. That is to mean, therefore, if we have to take the tool of impeachment as a tool of making sure that William Ruto does not get to 2027, as a means of dislodging William Ruto, Parliament becomes an integral player, and we can make sure that we push them the way we push the finance bill, so that they may then vote with the people. That will also give some impetus and some focal points to the revolution. Remember, the revolution is fizzling out because we do not have a focal point. We do not have something mali tunalenga sisi wote. When the revolution was high and up in arms and in high spirit, we were all focused on the action of Parliament in respect to the finances. If we give Parliament another burden of impeaching William Ruto, it means that it is going to rekindle the spirit of the revolution, and the people will start focusing on the question of impeaching William Ruto. We will go to the streets saying impeach, impeach. We will go to occupy Parliament again to tell them you must impeach William Ruto this time round. So that becomes, in my view, another way of rejuvenating the spirit of the revolution. The final one is where we are saying that, number one, the resignation has failed, number two, impeachment has failed. Then we go to factory setting, we go to the second Tuesday of August 2027, where we are saying then William Ruto will go out by the way of the ballot. Then the question is, are we then prepared for the ballot? That is to mean, if option one, resignation fails, option two, impeachment fails, we go to the constitutional tool of the election. How have we prepared our people for option three? Where option three will be the declamatization of the entire revolution and the manifestation of the result of the revolution. In my view, I do not think that we are taking proper action and proper steps towards preparing ourselves for the 2027 election. In my view, we need to make sure that people get the most crucial tool of making them ready for 2027, and that is the national identity card. The national identity card is the key to the warehouse that will send William Ruto home. How many Gen Z have registered as a citizen of the Republic of Kenya? The other question is, do we have the facilities that are capable of producing all the IDs that are pending between today and 2027? And don't you think William Ruto will sabotage our revolution by making sure that the facilities are not available? I am proposing that we evolve the process of registration of the people to the county, or to the most minute level that people can easily and expeditiously get registered. That is to mean the equipment that generates the IDs must be removed from Nyayo House, be taken to where people can easily collect them. It should be our priority to push that IDs be issued as early as we can. But again, that William Ruto will sabotage because he knows that is a tool that he cannot evade. The other question is, when you look at the question of the Election Act and the role of the people requirement to register as a voter, I was asking myself today, how many things am I able to do as a Kenyan on the face or the fact of just holding an identity card? If I have an ID, I can get a visa. If I have an ID, I can withdraw M-Pesa. If I have an ID, I can do a lot of things. Why is it so difficult, and why is it a requirement that for me to vote, I must be registered? I must have a vote. There must be a rigorous process which must be rolled in a clandestine manner for me to be able to vote. What is the role of the ID? Well, why can't I just go and vote? Why can't the register be generated on that basis? That if you have an ID, you are registered to vote. Those are some of the things that we might think and might impact or call for the amendment of the entire electoral laws. We have made various proposals in that respect about the question of how the elections can be expedited and how everybody can be involved in the process of the election. As I sum up, I've had the last speaker, the member Silasia, speak about the referendum. In my view, we are not yet ready for that. If we say that we want to take the country to a referendum, we'll be losing our eyes from the ball. We'll not be able to keep the eyes on the ball. The eyes on the ball is the fate this country, is where William has taken this country. We must fix William Ruto if we want to fix the country. If you want to fix the economy of this country, fix William Ruto. If you want to fix the education system of this country, fix William Ruto. If you want to fix the agricultural sector of this country, fix William Ruto. If you want to fix the transport industry, fix William Ruto. If you want to fix the manufacturing industry, fix William Ruto. William is the problem that this country has. It's a cancer that is ailing this country. And therefore, at the moment, our focus should be, how do we get William Ruto out of office? We have, in the past, been able to put a spirited fight in court, if I may report. For example, there's a pending matter that is before the court today about the finance bill and about the participation of the IMF. We have gone to court asking the Treasury not to sign any further agreement either with the IMF or with the World Bank. That matter was reported in the Standard today. I am actually the petitioner. The Mount Kenya jurist, which the chairman is also the petitioner, another group of advocates. So we are saying that we should be able to push for change from our own perspective and from where we are. For example, Willis has made very, very, very able submissions in respect to the extermination of young people by the police. We must be able to tell the country that we have other international instruments that can be able to address the kind of the extermination that the country is doing to the young people in the absence of a domestic remedy. That is to mean, and I echo his words, that we must be able to collect all this evidence. And we must be able to give them a periodic ultimatum that if you will not have prosecuted or charged these guys who are responsible for this within a specific period of time, then we shall be able to put into motion other international instruments. As of now, we should have actually written a letter to the ICC informing them of the situation that is unfolding in the Republic of Kenya, so that these guys understand that we are not just depending on the IPOA or depending on the DPP or depending on the DCI to investigate. The world has become a global stage, so that they understand that in the absence of your investigation, we have other international instruments playing that role. I agree with Willie that when a police officer retires, haendangi nyumbani na hizo bunduki, anaenda tipi yake, and we shall go for them where they shall be at the time when these processes shall be unfolding. In my final submission, it is true that if you took a debt and the debt was registered in our books and the debt is not reflected in this country anywhere in either project, then it should be, we must first be liable for that particular debt. The country should not be made to carry the burden of those individuals who enrich themselves with our public money. The moment you go and take a debt to enrich yourself, you have breached the social contract between myself and yourself. That is to mean the liabilities that accrue therefrom from that particular debt are accrued to you as an individual and not as a nation. And finally, what is this William is saying? That is appointing a tax force to review the debt. What was he paying? As a he told us that he has been paying debt, kwani amekuwa akilipa nini? Has he been paying things that he does not understand, and things that he does not know? So in my view, huyu jamaa anatuchezea. We should keep the fire burning. We need to move on. We need to fix William Ruto, and we need to make sure that he understands the question of the sovereignty of the people. The sovereignty of the people is supreme, and that is why we're able to address you at this particular time freely. The moment we dim this light, the moment we fail to support the movement of the revolution, I think the revolution will fizzle out. The young people will get fatigued, and then they will lose the cause. So we must also begin to call other people who are not directly involved in the revolution to also take part by God's law. We need then to have strategies of serious economic sabotage. If we know that unauzanga mayai na hii mayai yako inakujanga hii supermarket fulani, we should be able to have a strategy of economic sabotage. It worked very well in America during the civil rights movement. People boycotted, and the effect was felt. If we know a company that sells particular kama ni soda inauzanga, na wewe umetoka huko America na umepewa debt yako na unasupport huyu jamaa, we should be able to say don't take that soda. Why should we not be able to say ile siku ingine alikuwa huko alipewa sijui pesa zingine za kampuni zingine hapo zaki kuzitaja saa hizi mimi, lakini hizo kampuni tunazijua. It means they are supporting him. Why should we continue supporting their product to support a tyranny or support a dictator who is sabotaging our economy? So those strategies of economic sabotage should be applied so that they also feel the pain and so that we may share this pain equally. I'm so humbled for the time granted to me to make my humble submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wakili. Asante sana. That one needs some break. I mean, I've learned a lot of things about your submission. We are a country that is carrying debt that we don't know what it's paying for, who borrowed the debt, why. Someone asked me the other day that the government is not creating jobs. The government does not create jobs. The government creates an enabling environment for you to create a job. Kazi ya serikali ni kukupatia environment poa ndio ufanye kazi. Serikali ikiandika daktari haija create kazi ya daktari. Imeandika huyo daktari asaidie serikali ku create enabling environment ya mtu kufanya kazi. Sasa tukikuwa mgonjwa kufanya kazi, unaenda kwa hospitali ya serikali unatibiwa ndio urudi ufanye kazi. Ukifanya kazi unakuwa productive, then the government comes and tells you ulienda kwa hospitali yetu, hebu lipa hii tax. Essentially, haufai kulipa pesa kwa hospitali kwa sababu unalipa tax. So kazi ya serikali ni kukupatia the right environment ya wewe kufanya kazi. And when you work, that's when you create a job. For example, kama wewe ni engineer, that is your work. Uko na skill ya engineering. So una create kampuni yako ya kutengeneza bridge. So kwa hiyo kampuni yako utaandika watu. Hao watu umewapatia job. So your work has created a job. So serikali kazi yake ni create environment ndio wewe ufanye nini? Thrive, uko productive. So when you are productive, ndio serikali inakuja nasema, ndio hapo umekuwa productive, hebu nipatie hata 10%. Lakini tuko na serikali yenye inakuitisha 10% hata kama hujakuwa productive. So serikali kama hiyo tunaita predatory government. It is like a predator, ni kama vampire. Haioni ukifanya kazi, uko nyumbani umekaa. Lakini inakwambia file return. How do you file return na una kazi? Inakwambia file nil return. Sasa sasa walikuwa wamefika ile level ya wanataka kuangalia kwa M-Pesa yako. Mimi nimekuja kwa inbox yangu, umesema umelala njaa, nimekutumia 200 ili ujisupport. Wanaingia kwa M-Pesa yako wanasema ulipata 200, toka hiyo 200 tupatie shilingi 20. Usipopeana hiyo shilingi 20 by 30th of June wanakufungulia mashtaka. Ile siku utapata job, unaletewa barua unasema haukulipa tax miaka fulani na tunakuitisha penalty ya 80,000. That is predatory government, and we must stand up against this predatory behavior ya serikali yenye tuko nayo saa hii. We must stand. That's why wakili amesema we keep the fire burning. Na kuna strategies mingi. Kuna watu wata protest, kuna watu huko nje, kuna watu wata raise heat hapa kwa digital platforms, kuna watu wata boycott, kuna watu watakuwa na slow wata go slow. Kesho madaktari wanaenda MOH. It's part of the revolution. Kati mna separate, nasema hao ni madaktari. Madaktari wanaenda MOH kesho afya house. Inafaa wale wenye watakuwa waende wa support. That is just putting the pressure. Na aim ya madaktari ni moja, ni kupin, kupoke holes kwa hiyo cabinet, kwa sababu hiyo cabinet iko na watu filthy. Jana mwana cabinet secretary fulani ameshikwa huko na bibi ya mtu amepigwa mangumi. How can a whole cabinet secretary, ule ambaye anabeba value ya country yetu, unapatikana kwa hoteli na bibi ya mtu unapigwa mangumi huko na unaibishwa huko? So it is not true that the president is saying that cabinet yake ni safi. It is dirty, and I think this is the worst cabinet secretary in the cabinet office in the history of this country. Hata ya moya iko mbaya hivyo yanaingiza hivi. So Tontena, you said you want to sing something. Can you sing something as we take a cup of water, a glass of water, and then we come back?
Yes, sir, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Introduce yourself.
Yes, we can.
You're a young man. You're a Gen Z. How is music?
I'm not a Gen Z per se. I'm a millennial.
All right.
Yeah, my name is Alan Shioso, but you can simply call me Shio. That's easy.
Sorry? Yes.
I'm a performing artist under this entity called Tontena's Entertainment.
All right.
And basically, I do advocacy through performing arts. That is playwriting, acting, directing, music directing, and singing.
All right.
So today I'll do an original piece.
Before you go to the original, how is the environment? Is the government giving you a good environment to
join the free demo session for the data science and machine?
Not really per se, because as an artist I believe change can only come through structures.
Yes.
And so far we don't have structures. Even when we try to put up suggestions, they are not being followed to the core. So I believe the best way is having structures that will elevate the creative economy, and so that artists can be sustainable. And I'm on course doing that under Kenya Cultural Center incorporating Kenya National Theatre. And I hope for starters, this blueprint that I'm trying to put across will make sense, because my passion is creating a sustainable environment for the creative economy. Because as a practitioner in the theatre space, as a performer, it's really hard. At the moment, even since COVID came in, it has been worse. But we keep on pushing. Yes.
All right. What about Talanta Hela? There's something called Talanta Hela.
Talanta Hela, from my point of view, I've only seen its impact on the awarding of thespians under Kenya Theatre Awards. So far, that is what I've seen. But from my point of view, I feel awarding theatres at an accolade point of view is not really sustainable. We need programs under the Kenya Cultural Center, for example, for the thespians, that have structure that can be funded and bring artists on board, so that we shape their talents according to art and culture in this country. And in the same way, I believe art and culture is not more of tribe. We can commercialize our ethnicities positively, and create a unity of purpose.
Right, go on, take it over.
Yeah, so this is a rendition of an original on YouTube called Loudest, basically being vocal on matters social, political, and economic matters. But I'll do the vocal part of it. The original piece is incorporated with other artists, and it's more of pop and street sound. So stay tuned for Sema Tena. Tunasaka nyakado wanatuibia, tunapigania wax wanatukazia, wanadai tuko free wametukalia, pesa zilingia bank zikalisafia, mwananchi yuko njaa mwenyekiti amekaa akisinzia parliament, ufisadi umejaa wa maombi wamekaa wakingojea sacrament, so potelea pote kama chwani kwa mkono ya polisi. Traffic jam ni kokote, una haki kwa mikono ya polisi. Culprit, hey, kula mali ya umma kwa ofisi, tai juu ya kitambi ni ofisi, tunashika tunachoma mwizi, kumbe kuna mwingine kwa ofisi. Nilishasema ni wakati wa kutenda, nilishasema ni wakati wa kutenda, mlishasema ni wakati wa kutenda, mlishasema ni wakati wa kutenda. Unapenda mnene juu anakupa vinene, miaka 5 mitini juu utamwona kwa teli, uongeza madeni mifuko ndefu karele, mpeleke kotini atatoka na deni, jukani kesi hakuna za wadosi, nimewadadisi amnaga vikosi, mnaiba mnasema ni mokozi, wananchi wakiteta mnawaita mapolisi. Yo samseni samesi unajua ni usanii tu, samseni samesi unajua ni kuimba tu, usinipinye hapo, usinipinye hapo. Nilishasema ni wakati wa kutenda, nilishasema ni wakati wa kutenda, nilishasema ni wakati wa kutenda, nilishasema ni wakati wa kutenda.
We want more of this song. Where can we get you?
On social media or the physical studio?
Physical studio.
Physical studio, currently we are at Kitengela.
Yes.
Chairman Road behind Eastmart.
Alright.
Yeah, that is where the basic, like the physical studio is, but on social media platforms you can find us on channels, and we occasionally hold shows at Kenya National Theatre.
Alright.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can we have Milton? Milton?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Amerix.
Yes.
I'm so happy that you decided to host this. You know, so many people didn't know the guy who actually started this movement. They've been really searching. And even your followers, most of them didn't realize when this thing started. Because it was deep. Someone once posted a speech of President Uhuru some time back. Many didn't understand it, and someone said that hii ni watu wenye wamepata beep minus kwenda juu, wengine wangoje bloggers wawa explaining. So on this conversation, the first thing before I even continue much, you also need to balance between our watu wenye wana very faida, watu wenye kuko chini. Tumezoea kuona wanasiasa and wherever in the public platform. These other people can also give you different opinions because in the different part of the country, bringing up this assembly, it's like assemblies in different parts of the country. So my main issue, or the first thing I've been thinking about is, I think we need a referendum in this country. Because we need to reduce salaries of MPs like the ones like Peter Selassie here. We need to reduce their salaries. Why should we pay a member of parliament almost 1 million Kenyan shillings a month and they don't even make any laws? Yeah? Why should we have a women representative? I can dare say all the women representatives, ever since we started devolution, none of them has ever come up with a bill to support anything about girl child. We don't need them. What are they doing? They're just earning salaries for nothing. Yeah? The other thing, nominations of different posts, county assembly. Sana sana county assembly ndo au mabigi kwa maparties walieka ma-girlfriends wao. And people know it, and it is so sad. People earning money, they don't bring any bill that changes the government, the lives of the ordinary citizens. So my first thing is, venye mtu kama Raila alikuwa analeta hiyo referendum ya BBI nini, aleta referendum ya kutoa salary zao, say, from those 800 and wherever, we the people, we can bring a referendum through a representative, we can have signatures and all that. Once the IBC is constituted, we need to have a referendum. Because we cannot be paying people all this money and we are not getting anything worth of our money. Ever since, for example, someone like Salasia, I like how he does his things, but the work of a member of parliament is to make laws. The work, and then our members of parliament makes people think that their work is to handle the CDF. They are just patrons. Each and every constituency has someone called constituency development, the fund manager, who are fund manager. They are the people employed by the national government, and they are not even employed by these politicians. Who are employed kama wafanyikazi wengine wa serikali. These are the people who should be doing everything. And MP anaweza peleka tu proposal like mnijenge barabara kutoka hapa hadi hapa hivi na hivi. But people think that CDF is the work of a member of parliament. It is not. So if your parliamentarian or your member of parliament up to this moment has not brought any constructive bill to the house, you should send that work home. Don't tell me that this guy ati anafanya kazi mzuri kwa ground. Hiyo ni kazi ya CDF board. Yes. MPs are just patrons, but because of the vultures and dictators they make you guys feel like it is them doing everything. It is not them. This is the job of those fund managers pale chini. Ni ile kuzua wanaogopa wanasiasa wanashindwa kufanya something against them, but members of parliament wanakuwa tu patron wa hizo nini. So we need to reduce salaries of a member. MCA anafaa kuwa at most 70,000. A member of parliament, people like Akina Salasia, they should be earning 200,000 maximum. Yes, the president should not earn more than 500,000 in this economy. Yani tunaomba pesa, yeye mwenyewe anajikuja juzi anasema tunaomba 1 trillion. Tunaomba aje 1 trillion tukulipe mshahara ya hizo millions. Why are we paying them? Why are we paying spouses of these guys? They say that they are not going to allocate funds to these people. How are we going to know that they are not going to allocate funds? Yeah? How are we going to know that they are not allocating funds to those people? He said that during his last speech, he said that they are going to reduce advisors by half.
Yes.
Atatoa list ya majina ya watu wenye anaenda kureduce. Hizi vitu tu ni PR. You get, huh?
Yes.
Hizi vitu ni PR. Another thing I wanted to say, I've talked about referendum, I've talked about salaries, and there's something that came into my mind when Ombachi was talking.
Yes.
I need him to, if he was a good student of the posts, Amerix, who had a post, he could have known that he's also been working with very bad people. First of all, Safaricom has not been good. See, him and Amanda wamepoa baya. They've been bad. So he was also working with very bad people. He needs to know that. Secondly, he's working with even Royco. Royco is killing our people. It is the truth. It's just like this Colgate. With them, we can find ways of earning in other places. The other thing before I finish up, just having 2 points and then I finish, is that most of our MPs, they just get elected to loot. You get, huh? Wao wanatakanga tu kuloot. And this culture pia huwa sisi tunaileta kama wananchi. Ukiona mbunge wako anapita unataka 500, 200, hiyo pesa atakutolea wapi kama sio kukuibia? Atakuibia, and then akishakuibia atataka aingie huko, akiingia atarudisha na interest. Ndio maana unaona wanaweka mabibi zao kwa bibi alichukua loan kwao, sister yake fulani alichukua loan job ndio wamfund a campaign. The other thing which many people here are talking about, and I've been seeing it in Kenya for a very long time, is we as a country, we have a national intelligence service. And I tend to feel our governments who wanatumia NIS to manage politics of the country, something that should not be happening. Unasikia, I have the information. In the last government, before William came in, Kimani Chungwa was so fond of attacking NIS. Yeah, and he seemed to be having a lot of information, and I'm like, we shouldn't be managing politics with NIS. Let them do their job. Let them protect our country. But they should not be put into this problem of managing our politics. And before I finish, I want to congratulate someone like Cyprian Nyakundi. Cyprian Nyakundi made Safaricom and even like Cheza Games, this company, they'd taken billions from Kenyans. He won a case that made these guys get back, like refund billions of money. So when people are saying, oh, this and this, we need also to check on such. And we cannot support same sides all the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
all right.
Thank you.
Well, bless you. Rosalind, Wanjiru. I have not seen women here coming. This is not a masculinity space. This is a citizen assembly. I want to see more women here because I wrote yesterday that any combat, as long as women are giving us the buffer zone, that combat will be successful. I want to see more women here talking. I want to see their animation, their vocals here, and raising the stakes in this revolution combat. Rosalind.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I honestly didn't think that I'd get the mic this fast, but thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in tonight. I think the breadth and the depth of the thought that we have is quite robust for us to think through going forward. And we have valid points even as we think about taking this revolution even beyond the stage, right? So I'm going to make my contribution. How much time do I have? I think I'll try to keep it to 3 minutes.
Yes, 3 minutes will be fine. We'll be giving you 3 minutes. 3 minutes, then Kimuzi 3 minutes, Raven 3 minutes. I've seen Mara here 3 minutes. Right, go on.
Okay, great. We've focused heavily on the aspect of governance. And earlier on, I was speaking about the aspect of money. I came across a statistic that we had an undersubscription to the board. It was coming to about 2%. And that is one of the ways in which Kenyans have indicated a certain level of confidence declining in the government's long-term commitment, right? So this shows that we need to vote with our money. And what do I mean with this? If the Kenya shilling is losing value, how can we collectively keep highlighting the things that we care about? I've followed a lot of the discussions that you hold on the masculinity Saturday to do with health. And if people spend on things that devalue their health, it shows that we are not valuing our health. If we spend on things that are not forwarding our collective strength intellectually, mentally, professionally, it shows that we're not valuing ourselves. So it comes back to the money. We need to ask the questions about the money, where it's going, where it's being spent, how it's being spent, and how we can vote with the money. We've seen for example, Safaricom being one of the institutions that is a gap in terms of internet connectivity. The space has dropped severally, which has been frustrating. And I know as we converse on how to participate more in Starlink, we will know that digital connectivity is not a thing we can compromise on going forward. In terms of parliament, unfortunately, we've seen the problem of committees and over-regulation. This needs to end because for businesses which are not able to plan for 5-10 years, thinking in terms of continuity and sustainability in the country, this has to be a thing of the past. We can't keep revising our plans, revising our budget, and revising our compliance every year. That should end with this hopefully revolution as we think about building sustainable businesses in Kenya. Thirdly, it's that in terms of the money, we need to rethink how we are investing, how we are saving. If we're all saving in for example, banks and money market funds, yes, these have been valuable, but if we are not getting returns that are above the rate of inflation, we are losing in as much as we are trying to work harder. The problem with printing currency, and as we've seen this with the US dollar, is that the height of dollar printing has gotten the debt level to 34.8 trillion USD, and this is the highest it has been in history. So if the money is and the debt is too high, then development is out of the question. Essential spending on healthcare, energy, and infrastructure that improves the lives of people goes down the drain, and this is where politics tends to reign. So for Kenya, we're seeing the similar problem in terms of the currency going down in value, the printing is going up, and this is what's killing our productivity. So we need to rethink how we are saving, how we are investing, because unless we can beat the depreciation, we are collectively losing in a way that we can't even begin to fathom. Lastly, is that in the problem and in regard to real estate, that's one of the key pillars that is connected even to identity as Kenyans. We want to own, you want to own a piece of the land, somewhere to call home, somewhere to be grounded, somewhere to be connected to our family. It's so vital, but the current political system is putting that ownership in compromise. We've seen too many funds looted going directly to the state. I thought, and I kept asking myself, why is it that millions that are looted, billions that are missing, and we keep seeing palatial homes, we keep seeing new estates, new apartments, and new flats. Why is this a pattern? The fact is that it's another way that is killing our collective productivity, because if we as majority of Kenyans are earning less than 100,000 shillings or less than 150,000 shillings, when will we afford a real estate demand or pricing of 5 million, 10 million, 15 million shillings? And this is vanishing minus the long-term goals that we want. We need to rethink the money, because this is where our collective strength is being tapped. And if we can see this convolution in terms of the future and in terms of breaking away from what has been expected of us, then we do have a shot at doing this differently. So allow me to just sum that up right there, and I'll summarize some of these thoughts in the comment section.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was brilliant. Brilliant. Mora. Chunky, they have said you should sing, and if you sing, they'll sleep. I don't know why they don't like you. Mora.
Thank you so much, Amerix, for this space.
Yes.
I don't have much to say, but I just want to talk about two things. The first thing is, I think we're not talking so much about education, because a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, somebody in campus will pay 30,000, 40,000, and then suddenly they're required to pay around 250,000. In as much as we have inflation, I think this is something that the government is not telling us about. Either they don't want people in era to go to school, they don't want people to be educated, so that they may question their expenditures and stuff like that. Another thing that I want to also talk about is, I think something like Kenya Power needs to be disbanded, first of all, totally. Because, for instance, a week ago, I will buy tokens. 1,000 bob probably would give me around 48 units. Today, it's giving me 38 units. Either they're eating our money, and I do understand that Ruto, I'll call him Ruto, he has his guys over there, and he doesn't want to let them go. Probably he's getting a cut out of what they're making. And then another thing that I also want to say is, the big problem with this government, either Ruto has bad advisors, or he's not taking their advice. Because, for heaven's sake, if you have an advisor like David D, what do you expect? Totally nothing. David D, the only thing that he wants to do is just to eat and get fat, and then accuse people online. So I think that we should continue with this revolution, and my big issue is education. I think that is where I wanted to talk about so much. Education, because it's become too expensive. I think more than 50% will not go to campus this year because it's too expensive. And most people are relying on educated families depend on their kids to go to campus to liberate them from poverty. And if they cannot acquire that education, then that means they'll continue living in dire poverty.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
That's all that I wanted.
Thank you very much. I just want to say something about education. Nataka msikie vizuri. Juzi mlisikia cabinet secretary mwenye anadili na mambo za prisons prisoners wataanza kulipa tax. Na hamkuelewa nini anasema. Kitu inafanyika hapa ni kwamba they make education expensive. Usifikie we kama mtu wa mtaa. So education ikiwa expensive, hautaenda shule. Kama utaenda shule, hautapata opportunity ya kupata job na nini na vitu kama hivi. So utajipata at a disadvantage position. So utashikwa, labda umepatikana unaloita unatafuta kazi, ama unapatikana umefanya crime, because lazima uishi. Utashikwa, upelekwe prison, uambiwe sasa wewe umeshikwa utalipa tax. Prisoners walipa tax. Na hiyo tax unajua inatoka wapi? Hiyo tax ni wewe unaenda kufanya kazi kwa kampuni za wazungu. Hizi zimeandikwa kazi Kenya, kujenga manyumba, kujenga mabarabara na kujenga nini. Ukishatoka prison unaambiwa ile pesa yenye ungelipwa, ingine tulipa tax na ingine tulijenga hizo manyumba na vitu kama hivyo. That is what they are planning. Hiyo ndio ile book ya the capitalists. That's what they do. To keep young men in prison so that they can get cheap labor. Na kama hamsimami kusema education ikuwe accessible. Hata katiba inasema education must be accessible to each and everyone, every citizen. Why are they making education so expensive to all of us? Education inafaa ikuwe kitu ya kila mtu. Na hizi CBC is very expensive. Mtoto anaenda shuleni na vitabu 10. Mtoto wa class 2 anaendanga grade 2 ama grade whatever. Amebeba vitabu, anakuja anafanya assignment nyumbani usiku analala saa 4. Mtoto wa miaka 9. And that education is expensive. And the people we took to parliament to talk about this are not talking about it. Juzi kumekuwa na kesi kotini ya kiti. Task force iliyodoa ya CCC, hatukusikia ikisema nini. So education is going to be expensive. As long as World Bank and World Economic Forum and IMF wametushikilia shingo, life inaenda kuwa hard. Sasa tumesema third liberation is economic liberation. Lazima tujiliberate to be independent. Agriculture iko yetu. Manufacturing sector iko yetu. Kila kitu iko yetu. Ukimaliza shule unafanya kazi hapa Kenya. Because Kenya iko na ability na capacity ya kujisimamia. Kimuzi.
Shukran Amerix. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, thank you so much for unblocking me. First and foremost, I'm not the enemy. Enemy ni Ruto. After 4 years, nimetoka Mexico. And funny enough, hata Nyakundi alikuwa amediblock and I'm not the enemy. The enemy is this Ruto. So I want just to talk about youth unemployment because I'm really passionate about youth unemployment. And just to echo on what you have just been saying right now is a quality education. Like quality education is a requirement even by the UN. Unajua the SDGs, people should be knowing about the SDGs. Kuna SDGs 17 and quality education, gender, clean water and sanitation, all these equal infrastructure, energy, it's there. People should be learning about sustainability. For a nation to become sustainable, we should be having these bare minimum things. But Ruto's government is frustrating people. Another thing I want to talk about is a justice. Hii ndio ni kitu nataka kuongelea kabisa kwa the first one. Mimi sitaki how police, I'll just make sitaki how police will get away with this murdering of innocent individuals. Personally, I know the family through a friend, the family of Eric Chieni. And it was so painful, their story. Ukisikia their story, actually they were requesting to have a space of the victims just to rant, to talk about how it's affecting them because it's from their own perspective. Tusikize uchungi hao because people really underrate. And that's why, like, nasikia ni huyo polisi akionekana mali yako, like, we should hold these people accountable. Ruto should do something about these people. It's becoming normal. We are actually normalizing killing of protesters in Kenya. Baby Pendo alipotezwa 2017 during the protest watoi. Juzi kuna mtu ameshutiwa. Watu, they are losing their lives. It's no longer peaceful. Huko Maliniko, actually Maliniko, I have gone to protest in this country na hakuna mali wanatumia excessive force. It's actually like nikai unaenda concert ndio ni protest.
that's actually something that should be implemented. You number one, justice for the victims of the family. Like lazima they were paid justice. Number two, I just want to talk about Mali. You guys know I was the biggest supporter of this regime, but Mali tulitokana na hii regime ni youth unemployment na the galana kulali. Food security. We cannot be talking about food insecurity in a country and yet we have galana kulali. I actually have a whole file ya watu walikuwa Israel wenye waliletwa training wako Kenya unemployed. More than 800 people, their names, their occupation, be it an agronomist, be it an agricultural engineer, be it agribusiness, be it agricultural, be it a food nutrition, who you are food to, you understand what I'm saying? Be it a person of horticulture, be it floriculture. I have all these people, all their files. But what is the government doing? Wanapea watu wadosi kazi huko juu agriculture. Actually, it is so shameful that someone was coming from this place and they are discussing very important aspects of engineering. Alafu watu wako panel, they don't understand what they are saying and they were like, mnafanya nini hapa kama mwelewi? And one thing now, sitete wazungu, they are bullshit wote. But nasema, they really value competency. Ukienda table, na wewe ni engineer, umesema wewe ni civil engineer, you should prove that you are a civil engineer. Personally, I'm an employed, miserable, and registered engineer because of all that is going on in Kenya. But what I'm saying, Kenya doesn't value meritocracy. Ndio maana tuko nao mapala pale huko juu. And before I come to youth unemployment ya mwisho, I just want to talk of something that has affected me yesterday and the other day, and people are thinking that we were on this or anything. It's about the betrayal and it's an issue. Tumeamua sasa hivi it's an issue na nimesikia Ombachi akiongelea it's an issue or anything, and even Nyakundi Ombachi was bashing you, and I am actually concurring with Ombachi because back in the time Nyakundi unajua chenye ulikuwa unafanya, and we both know tunasema ukweli, we both know ulikuwa unakubali kununulia na Safaricom and that such, but it's a thing of the past. Now the enemy is Ruto. Hata Otero iliniumiza personally because we were supposed to co-host a space, a space concurrent na ile ingine parallel, but I don't know why he did that. Like, it really hurted me. I don't know, he hurted them to cheat on you because unaweza pata dem mwingine, but for a man, the biggest pillars that define a man is trust, loyalty, and integrity. You should never break that. Money can never buy such. Money can never bring back lost life. What Osama did, he derailed this movement, but sasa tumerudi na ubaya. Today I was really happy that naona watu wametokelezea Saba and the movement, Amerix to make a space, the movement is back. We have forgotten about Otero. It's kind of personal for me because sahi hata watu wanadhani I was paid. Yes, I was paid. I was paid na hatred. I am paid by the loss I have this government. I am paid by the misery nimepitia na hii government ndio nikatoka hiyo nchi. Mimi sitaki kwa danganya, singi haitoka Kenya, but ilibidi nimetoka because of what I saw and what I'm going through it. The youth unemployment. Guys, people don't know people. The youth, we are losing the youth in Kenya to alcohol, misery, gambling because of being unemployed. Personally, I know people wenye Amerix amesema saa hizi ukisoma nje, ukisoma Kenya, represent Kenya in your own country. Countries like Israel, let me talk about here. Countries like Israel, if you go to Ivy League universities, they take back their students like 95% absorption rate, and that's why only Tel Aviv icona almost more than 10,000 startups. It's a startup nation. It has more than 10,000 startups because they really fund these people. But what's happening to our government? Mbona Ruto siweke tu some nini ya kupea research facilities? There is a student in electrical engineering nikiwa alikuwa here ahead of me, aliunda a voting system ya blockchain. Mbona hapo haifandiwa hiyo kitu iwekwe ikuwe kaya IBC ya Kenya? Why? Because we don't value our education system. We value watu waheshimiwa wako wamejaa juu KPLC, wamejaa Kenyan, wamejaa wapi. Me personally, I used to live in Roysangu, Red Plate. People know me from that. Hata Mora mwenye ameongea sahizi, I know her personally, she knows me. Tuliishi Ngara tukiteseka. Youth unemployment ni mbaya sana. Unapata watu wakiwa cake dance, not because they are in cake dance. wanakunya because of they cannot stomach what's going on in their lives. They have done, it's really miserable to work hard all, just to Amerix 2 minutes more. It's all, ni kitu mbaya sana to work, to struggle all your life and not to get the fruits. Ni mbaya sana kupanda, tuseme saizi umepanda kitu kaa pilipili because I'm a farmer. Umepanda pilipili alafu isitoe mazao. Ni mbaya sana na umepeleka hadi huko juu. So, sisi hatuna mazao, mbona ujaze engineer, ujaze graduates into the field, na hana mazao. So what I'm trying to talk about, the government should create an environment, the government should not provide the jobs, the government should provide an environment, the security, the finances to these people so that nasikia watu feel the pain because I've been talking about employment kaya daktari. I used to say back in 2020 there are doctors that are unemployed. Yes. But people couldn't believe, but now watu waliona kuna doctors wenye wako unemployed. So these are very big issue. I need us to move on forward, forget about traitors, tuendelee na hiki. You should be activism. The last thing I want to say, activism should never and ever be paid. It's priceless. You should lose your life because of activism. Pambana hadi mwisho hata ukishikia kisu. Thank you.
Asante sana. So we only have 7 minutes, and I'm going to give Diana Ocheng. Diana Ocheng?
Hi, I'm here.
Yes, giving you 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Just like the movement.
Asante.
Yes.
I'm Diana Wakili, and I'm just here to reiterate what we and my fellow council say.
Correct.
What we're experiencing over here, guys, as much as it was the finance bill, sure, the finance bill is going to pass come 14th of July. That comes with a lot of issues. The National Land Commission, the CS being given the power that used to be given to the Land Acquisition, to the NLC for compulsory land acquisition, the Data Protection Act, look in the out, the land, the oyster bill, 10K. Next week, carry on up is what is it? And the one thing people have said, the power is ours. Article 1 of the Constitution says power is either given directly or indirectly. What we did, as we said, we went into our power. Let's go to the parliament. Okay, right now we're calling for IBC reforms and a National Transitional Committee. Yes. I just want to put it across to people, as you're calling for Ruto to reform all this, me personally, I don't want, there's no way Ruto can be overseeing the committee that is going to still have his hands inside the cookie jar. And one thing that I want to has been mentioned, I was in another space with the museum. Somebody who funded Ruto's campaign really aliangusha sense hapo na akasema, if we really want this thing, our elections attached to the IBC servers. I'll just put it over there. Why haven't the servers been accessible to us all these years? If our voice is truly in our kura and our voters card, tutaenda tupige kura alafu tena tuseme tena tumeoshwa, tujam, tuseme wafungue servers wakatae. Guys, this is irrelevant, but I was in Baba's legal team, and I don't tell you, those servers are really key. Those servers, if you're really to champion for a better thing, if the result can be streamed and you can see, why can't they also open the servers if the servers are clean? I have a suspicion that unless we could say fungue those servers, tunaweza shtuka as a country. So as we push for the agenda, also that's one agenda that we should have on it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Robin?
Robin disappeared. So who is that?
It's Lisa.
Yes?
Elvis.
Yes, Elvis. Giving you 2 minutes.
Hi, Eric.
Yes, go on.
Thank you for the space. So for me, I just go straight to the point, and it's about the hallucinations that the president has been peddling around about jobs abroad. And I want to tell everybody who's listening here that it's a big lie. There's no deal is going out there to make about the jobs abroad. As you all know, for those who follow the news, I'm sure you've heard about the G7 countries, that is ranging from Australia, France, UK, USA, Canada. They are all trying to close borders and regulate immigration. So when someone is coming up to is using the term that I'm looking jobs for you guys abroad, it's a lie. There's nothing like that happening. In fact, they are tightening borders, and in the next 1 year, it's going to be very hard to get any visa for any of these countries. Then number 2, I don't think it's right to take someone who has gone through the 844
access. And that is where the problem is, because these guys are being funded by groups outside there, and they have to reward them with kickbacks and all sorts of crimes, like economic crimes. And this is how we found ourselves in this mess at the moment, because those who funded them have to get kickbacks.
All right. I'm sorry we have to end it there, but then we can now stand up for the national anthem, because that is what binds us together as a country, and that's what we. Go out there and fight what we stand for as a country. Thank you very much for joining, and we are going to have a citizen assembly again next time. This time we're going to talk about the public debt. We're going to look for Jimmy and Jiggy to be part of the conversation. Have a wonderful night and a great week ahead. Bye-bye.